Conclusion inevitable.
It was a jump to conclusions, Matt.
My conclusion was that this idea was not a practical deterrent.
My only conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
In conclusion.
Hello there, folks. Welcome back to In Conclusion, the only movie podcast with what I'm sure will happen to be the most disappointing hair dyeing scene in history. I am Dan O'Keefe, and joining me, as always, the human embodiment of a beleaguered sigh, Anna Otto. How are you?
You know, Dan, this movie was not feminine gaze enough for me. Dan.
What?
I forgot to tell you. Since we've last spoken, someone else organically brought up the feminine gaze in conversation.
Ooh.
It was amazing.
Wow.
My
Tell
friend
me the
Eliza,
story.
she was like, I was describing the feminine gaze the other day, and I was like, what a coincidence. I as well have been discussing the female gaze. How are you, Dan?
I'm good. Unfortunately, no one has popped up in my life saying, you know what I've been doing recently? Discussing the female gaze.
Don't worry, I'm back.
I thought those were called lesbians.
I'm about to hang this podcast up. I'm sick of your shenanigans.
No, I've been good. You know, life's been life. I got a new bike, so I've been biking.
Nice. As you do. I thought of you the other day because I considered taking up running again.
Oh, don't. Stop.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't worry, I stopped.
I'm doing a triathlon in June, and I have not run in a month.
Dan. Dan, I don't even know what to say with you.
I've never done a triathlon before. That's not true, actually. In high school, we would do one senior year, but it wasn't a real triathlon. It would be you would bike on a stationary bike for a while, and then you would go and run a mile outside, and then you would swim. And I didn't enjoy that because I hate stationary bikes, and I also don't like running. But the one that I'm doing is you swim a mile, and then you bike 25 miles, and then you run 6 miles because I just like to torture myself. That's what's called an Olympic marathon because an Olympic triathlon because I
don't even know what to say.
Terrible. Say good luck. Say good luck,
Dan. Buena suerte, Dan.
Is that good luck in Spanish?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
Claro.
Claro, the musician?
Yeah. No, claro means okay.
How do you spell that?
Of course. I mean, excuse me. Of course. Claro.
Claro.
Unless it's Spanish. Sometimes I forget that the kids in my show can't speak Spanish, and I just start talking to them in Spanish. And then I'm like, oops, wait, hang on.
I just want to... No, you were not raised in a multilingual household.
No, but when I was little and my parents were pissing me off, I would talk in Spanish to them.
Like a demon child speaking in tongues?
Yeah, pretty much.
Would a flame appear on your tongue?
It was their mistake because they decided to make me intelligent. Their first mistake was letting me take Spanish class growing up.
Yes.
Their second mistake was encouraging me.
The third mistake, not killing you when they had the chance.
Literally.
Speaking of not killing them when they had the chance, the movie that we're talking about today is the Bourne Ultimatum, and that might be the only smooth transition that I've ever made in the history of this podcast. And I set it up myself.
Dan, I have to be honest with you.
You didn't like it.
This movie was more boring than the most boring thing on earth.
A horrible metaphor. No comparison in there. Come on.
That's because I was bored. I couldn't even... It was more boring than watching paint dry.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I figured that would be your reaction to this one.
Mm-hmm. I hated it. I hated it so much. Not even Matt Damon's fine self. Did you like it?
I did. I thought I didn't like it as much as the last one, but it's a really well-made action movie.
I know. I think it's just like... Action movies are just action movies, you know?
I tend to agree with you a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time I get really annoyed in action movies because I'm like, there are no actual stakes to this fight.
Yeah.
I know that the hero was not going to lose. I know he's not going to be damaged. At least with this, barring the whole meta knowledge of there are more movies after this that we're not talking about, but
No.
at least because of how the series has gone, by the end, it seemed realistic that Jason Bourne could die
Yeah,
or have
it did.
actual consequences.
Placing yourself in the shoes of someone seeing it for the first time. Yes, but being in the shoes of 2023 where I know the franchise. Yeah.
You have too much metatextual knowledge. I'm so sorry.
I'm too wise, okay?
You cursed.
It's cursed out here. I don't think I could tell you a single point of the plot in this movie, though, if I'm being entirely honest with you.
He's in a train station.
Mm-hmm.
And then other things happen, and somehow he gets to New York.
Mm-hmm. Period.
That's it. There you go. It's not a deep plot going on
No.
here. There is one line that I'm certain that you could tell me, though.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
There you go. That didn't make the whole movie for you.
Oh, it did. Gage was like, Anna, you gotta get in here. And I ran in. I ran.
Wait, you weren't even in the room?
No, okay, so you know I like to fold laundry while I'm watching my movies. I was putting some underwear away. I ran in, and I screamed it. He didn't even have to tell me what scene it was, what line I was about to hear. I just screamed, Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. Because why wouldn't you? It's the best line of all time.
I just want to say, how long have you been a host on this podcast?
A long time. 3 years.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I am just finding out. Not that you do your laundry while watching a movie. Don't care about that. You just actively leave at points and don't pause the movie.
That's kind of just how I watch TV. Dan,
You don't have to
I don't
report
know if
on
you-
everything that you watch on TV. With these, you have to like share your opinions.
I don't know if you knew this about me, but I have raging ADHD. So sometimes I just like go get a snack and I'm like, Gage, what's happening?
Oh my gosh.
I'm nothing
You
if
have
not
Cliff's
chaotic.
notes next to you.
Mhm.
Gage is just your spark notes.
I'm nothing if not chaotic, okay? And listen, sometimes laundry calls. It's honestly 99% of the time I only leave if I'm doing laundry and I pause if I'm going to the bathroom. But if I'm doing laundry and I have to just hang up some shirts quick, yeah, I'm just going to run out of the room and grab some hangers and come back.
I'm gonna start
I don't
making us
leave to,
watch
like, cook
really well. I have made cookies while watching movies before.
The truth comes out.
I can watch I can see the TV from my kitchen though. I can still watch.
Well, I can still hear everything.
Are you listening?
Yes.
I don't believe that. I think you're singing "You're Putting Away the Laundry" song.
You and my therapist are mean. Just kidding. 10 out of 10 for Bill. Dan, you're on thin ice.
Awesome. That's where you can't break a few eggs without living on thin ice.
What? What?
I love metaphors. Anyway,
I
the
have
Bourne
something-
Ultimatum. What do you have?
I almost said James Bond. Of the Matt Damon movies that we've watched so far, though, I think my favorite is still Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that.
I think of all the Matt Damon movies that I've watched. No. That's not true. Ocean's 11 is my favorite. I'm sorry. That'll never change.
For those who are listening, I'm rolling my eyes.
Yeah, if you want to hear her thoughts on that, listen to our wonderful Ocean's 11 podcast.
Oh, that movie is the most unfeminist thing I've ever been forced to watch.
Okay. We both know that's not true.
Okay, that is not true. It's probably these movies.
No!
I can't think of what the most unfeminist thing I've had to watch is with us.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go through the list.
There's a lot, probably.
Taxi Driver.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty unfeminist. Okay, you've said enough.
That was in the text, though.
Well,
that is supposed to be.
It's just kind of like not great movie. Like the energy is not great, but the movie itself is good.
Sure.
Good. I have quotes up. It's not Meet the Fockers, okay? It's not
Meet
Robert
the
De Niro's.
Fockers, the incredibly feminist movie Meet the Fockers.
Yes, it's. Listen, my mom and I had a great conversation the other day about how we love those movies. So, if everyone watched Meet the Fockers, we'd achieve world peace.
Oh, okay. The Bourne Ultimatum.
Bored old tomato. That's what I called it.
The Bourne Old Tomato. Is this Veggie Tales?
Yes. This is in true fashion, except, well, not really, because normally when I watch trilogies, I feel like it goes 2, 1, 3, but this one I definitely think was 1, 2, 3 for me, because number 2 threw me off the rails the second the girlfriend died. That was
I thought it would throw you off the bridge.
Disrespectful. That was disrespectful.
That's when it turns from strong feminist to anti-feminist.
Literally in 2 seconds.
Bourne Ultimatum. Directed by Paul Greengrass once again. Written by the first draft by Tony Gilroy, and then the rest of it by Scott Z. Burns and George Nolfi. I always feel like people with a Z as their middle initial are making it up.
His middle name can't be Zachary?
No.
Oh.
I refuse to allow that.
I guess you're right. Zachary's not a name. First name only.
Last name ever, first name Zachary. Like a sprained ankle, I ain't nothing to play with. Do you remember that Sprite commercial with Drake?
Of course I remember the Sprite commercial with Drake because I was in my Drake era when that came out.
I only know those 2 lines from that song.
Last name ever, first
name greatest, like a sprained ankle, I ain't nothing to play with. And I just picture him popping open like a robot music boombox. Like drinking
Sprite is so crispy.
Flowing through him.
Yes. Yes. It's so clear in my mind right now, and then he starts rapping. Yes.
Starring Matt Damon, Julia Stiles, David Strathairn, Scott Glenn, Patty Considine, Edgar Ramirez, Albert Finney, and Joan Allen. And, very briefly, Daniel Bruhl, the German boy.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Phew. I was struggling.
Cinematography by Oliver Wood, who was also the cinematographer for Freaky Friday.
I was going to say, that name sounds familiar. Isn't that also the name of...
Elijah Wood.
No, I was thinking of the lead boy in Harry Potter. Not the lead boy. On the Quidditch team. The head Quidditch player. He's got a Scottish accent. I'm pretty sure his name is Oliver Wood.
Sure.
Harry Potter fans, back me up.
Maybe? I don't care.
I don't know. He's Scottish.
Oh, he was also the cinematographer for Morbius.
Oh, no. Not even Matt Smith could save that movie. Okay.
Released on August 3rd, 2007 with a budget of $110 million. It made $444 million at the box office.
Damn. The way the dads flocked to the theater.
It was the highest August opening weekend of all time when it was released, with $70 million, until that record was overtaken by Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, interesting. Crisp Rat makes an appearance.
On Rotten Tomatoes, it is a 92% approval rating.
By who? Incels?
The Bourne Ultimatum is an intelligent, finely tuned, non-stop thrill ride. Another strong performance.
Enough. No wonder I didn't like it. I don't like intelligent
from Matt Damon.
movies.
And sharp camera work from Paul Greengrass make this the finest installment of the Bourne trilogy.
Who wrote this?
Audiences gave it an A. The audience, according to CinemaScore, 56% male and 82% 25 or older.
Don't even talk to me right now. That's an incel. All I'm hearing is incel, 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 incel.
At the Academy Awards, it was nominated for and won 3 Oscars.
For what? Hottest lead actor.
It won Best Film Editing, Best Sound Editing, and Best Sound Mixing.
Okay, I will say slay that it was all mostly editing.
It was all sound mixing is just another form of editing.
Oh, well, period, because editing is the best thing ever.
Is it? Do you like doing it?
Dan, it was literally my career.
I know it was your career, but do you actually like doing it?
Yes.
I edit all the time. Do I enjoy it?
No.
Why do you think I don't edit this?
Well, I like editing.
Do you know what won Best Picture? You would have. Ooh, boy. You would not have had a fun time going to critically acclaimed movies in 2007.
Well, can you tell me the nominees?
The nominees for Best Picture were Atonement, a romantic war drama.
Yeah, I know. I'm familiar.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm sorry. That has James McAvoy in it. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's so fine.
Juno with Elliot Page.
I love Juno. I love Juno. My mom once told me that movie reminded her of me, and I didn't know how to take that.
I think that's a compliment. Like you were a strong, independent high schooler.
Well, she said that my style, like my sense of humor, reminded her of that movie.
I'd take it.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie. I like it.
Michael Clayton, starring George Clooney.
I thought that you were just naming an actor. I've never heard of that movie.
It is great. There's a scene where there's a character just holding a bushel of bread.
Mood.
You would hate it. The last nominee, There Will Be Blood.
Well, I know it wasn't Juno, because why should anything I love happen?
And the winner, No Country for Old Men.
Are you kidding me? No Country for Boring Men.
I knew it. I knew it.
Isn't my boy Robert De Niro in that movie?
No.
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of...
Are you thinking of Dirty Grandpa?
No. What the frick? No.
The Irishman?
Yeah, I think I was thinking of the... No, what's the one that was this year? The Harder They Fall?
What?
I got it confused with the one from this year.
What movie? What Robert? The Harder They Fall?
Which one's that? Is that the Germans?
That's a Jonathan Majors movie.
Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. That's the cowboy one, isn't it?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Everything's a blur to me. Gage watched the Jonathan Majors one. I tuned into that a little bit because I think he's hot, but not really.
But what's the Robert De Niro
really
movie?
I don't know. It was like a war one.
What?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Dan. It's 10 p.m. I'm exhausted. All these movies with fighting and guns, they blur together.
Savage Salvation?
So never heard of her.
Amsterdam? Amsterdam. You're talking about Amsterdam.
Probably.
That had Christian Bale and Margot Robbie in it. And Robert De Niro. It was horrible.
Oh, dang. For a stellar cast, I'm disappointed.
Terrible. Saw it in the theater. Wanted to walk out.
Then
Didn't.
do it.
I know. I can.
Just close your eyes and take a $17 nap.
Hey, I pay for this shit monthly.
That's true.
Anyway, the Bourne movie, the topic of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've gotten your thoughts. I think we can get into
Let's just. Well, what did you think? Did you like it?
I liked it. I thought it was good.
That's 'cause you're in that.
I thought that the first third of the movie was just so strong. Everything up to and through the scene in the train station.
Okay,
Thought that was just top notch.
Spoken like a true 25 and up man.
That's right. I'm within that category.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it, I feel like it kind of got lost in the weeds for the rest of the movie. But I thought the first act is strong.
Let's just dive in. I need my memory refreshed because I watched this like 2 weeks ago, and then because my life is chaos, we're only recording now.
Jason Bourne evades Moscow police while having more flashbacks about joining Operation Treadstone.
It's already coming back to me vividly.
He's running. He's fighting. It's shaking. It's green. It's the wintertime.
I don't even like winter, Dan.
Why do you live in Wisconsin?
Because I was born here and I am too lazy to move.
Do it, though. Move.
But
Move
if I
somewhere
move-
warmer.
I'm not moving to LA, Dan.
I'm not saying L.A. Move to, like, Mississippi.
Ugh. No.
It's warmer.
That's true, but there's also big snakes there.
That's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Only the snakes.
And some things that I don't want to talk about on the air, but yes.
Your secret ex-lovers that run Mississippi.
All of them. I've dated the entire state.
6 weeks later, Pamela Landy, talking to the head of the CIA, shows the audio
Pamela
tape.
Landy? You
That's her
mean
name.
Anna's twin?
Yes, Anna's
Thank
older
you.
twin.
Mm-hmm.
What Anna will look like in 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
She has the confession of Ward Abbott, who was the head of Treadstone, who Bourne got to confess about everything that was happening at the end of the last movie. I've also recently started watching Succession again, and Brian Cox is in that too. So I get them. I don't get them confused. I consider them the same character.
I love that.
So she gives that to the director of the CIA, and then in Turin, journalist Simon Ross, who works for The Guardian, gets told about Operation Blackbriar, which is the program to succeed Treadstone, and using some freaky-deaky NSA surveillance, the CIA detects that Ross has mentioned Blackbriar during a phone call to his editor, and they need to find him and neutralize him because that is top secret.
Oh, I could. That's too stressful. I could never be trusted with knowledge. You know, like I
could never be trusted with knowledge.
Well, I love to gossip. If somebody told me a secret, I would immediately have to run tell somebody, and I'd have to be quote unquote neutralized. So, like, that's just not it. Okay.
Quote unquote neutralized. You would have to be killed immediately. You would
They'd
spill
be
the
like-
beans in an instant if someone even slightly
Immediately.
pressured you.
I would call my mother 2 seconds afterwards to tell her.
Tell me what you know. Oh, I don't know. They take one step closer. Okay.
Literally. All I'm saying is poor guy, okay? Because I would have been right there with him.
Also, this came out about 4 years before the whole Edward Snowden NSA reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Plain sight.
Foreshadowing.
All in plain sight.
Foreshadowing.
And Bourne shows up in Paris to inform Martin Kreutz, Marie's brother, that she was assassinated. And then he just kind of leaves. And he's
Depressing.
like, anyway, process that.
I think everybody in this movie needs to go to therapy.
Did you recognize him?
Mm-mm.
Daniel Bruhl?
Mm-mm.
Well,
I'm sorry.
he was Helmut Zemo in Captain America Civil War,
Oh,
and he was
wait,
in
yes,
Falcon
I
and the Winter
did.
Soldier.
Here's the thing. Again.
You are
tell
not
me his
face
real name?
blind.
No, I'm name blind. You tell me
Yes.
his name, I would never have been able to pick him out of the lineup. But you go, which one was Zemo? And I go, that's my boy right there.
If I showed you a picture of him, would you have been able to get it?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, it was because when we watched the movie, Gage said, do you recognize him? I said, who is that? He goes, it's Zemo. And I went, oh, it's Zemo. Dan.
You've never had
I do
an
my
original. I've never had an original conversation in my life.
No. It's hard in these streets, okay? Sometimes I'm surprised Gage wants to marry me because I get so easily confused by everything in movies.
I think it's for your money.
Yeah, all 5 of my dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
All
sure.
5 of your dollar coins that you keep in your change purse. You can't sneak up on anyone because you
Yep.
jingle around.
That's kind of true.
Speaking of low amounts of money, I was working from a coffee shop today, and about 2 hours after I got there, I was working there, I noticed that there was a window broken the entire time that I was there.
Oh.
Like, total, like, wall-length, floor-to-ceiling window that was not there the entire time that, like, had been broken, and, like, someone broke into the place over the weekend, and I asked the barista about it, and they're like, yeah, they broke in and they stole $10. We had $10 in the ATM. Or
That's
not the
a
ATM, in
yikes.
the cash register. Of places that you break into to rob, why would you choose a coffee shop?
I guess they thought maybe people would be tipping.
This place is like all digital. You don't even order with a person anymore. You order at a tablet.
Dan, I don't have the brain of a criminal. I can't answer that question.
But if I showed you a picture of the brain of a criminal, would you be able to recognize it?
Yes.
If I told you its name?
Yes. He said this is the brain of a criminal. I could do it.
This is your brain on crime.
Scary.
Bourne reads one of Ross's articles in the newspaper, calls him on a phone that can't be tracked, and has him meet in Waterloo Station, the busiest train station in London, we are told.
Classic.
And Bourne realizes the CIA is following Ross and helps him evade capture for a little bit. They have a tense meetup in the middle of the train station.
This part had me screaming. I'm not going to lie.
This part's well done. It's hot.
It is well done.
Heavy.
Okay, I will give you this because I didn't want to get attached to anybody because, last movie, Burned.
Mm-hmm.
It happened again. I'll say that.
Did you recognize him?
No. Dan, I don't know why. The only person I recognized was really Matt Damon, and Julia Stiles was on... She was on Thin Ice, okay?
Mm-hmm. He was in Hot Fuzz. He was one of the police officers in Hot Fuzz. You did. We watched it for the podcast.
Oh, I got it confused with something else. A different police movie. I'm sorry, Dan. No, I was thinking of...
I had a conversation at work earlier today where somebody was asking where they could find some files, and I was like, oh, I have them. I can send them to you. And then someone else in the meeting was like, oh, great. Could you send them to me too? And I was like, hey, guess what? I have some great news for you. You sent them to me. They're in our team's conversation.
No.
They were the most recent message in our team's conversation.
Oh, God, that's traumatizing. That's literally me. If I don't write everything down, it's gone immediately.
Anyway, Bourne, you were saying something, though.
No, I was saying how, I get so sad because when I get attached to characters in movies, they always die.
I feel like that's exactly what's supposed to happen when they kill them. It's supposed to be damaging.
I know, but
they're doing their job.
I always fall for it, every single time. And then I get mad. I think it's going to be different, but it never is.
It'll be different this time, I swear.
Literally, I am still not recovered.
The movie's called John Tucker Must Die. What do you think's going to happen?
The movie is a sleigh.
So Ross, he gets antsy and he gets shot to death by assassins by the
Foolish
order of Deputy Director Noah Vosen, played by Academy Award nominee David Strathairn.
I screamed when he died.
And then Landy reluctantly agrees to help him out, and they analyze Ross's notes. They find that his source is Neil Daniels. You are breathing so heavily into the mic right now.
I'm sorry. It was pointed at my nose.
Just want you to know that I'm still here.
Sorry, I was pointing at my nose. That's why. I just want you to know that I'm really engaged, okay? I'm right here, Dan.
She's there. She's breathing. It's more than most teachers get.
Oh, God.
Jason Bourne gets into Daniel's office, the CIA station chief in Madrid, but it is empty. He can't get any info about himself there. But you know who else is in that office? Nikki Parsons.
Our girl, Julia Stiles. Who I always think is actually named Julie Stiles, and I get nervous that I'm saying it wrong.
I always want to say Julia Child.
This would be a very different movie. She's just cooking away.
Jason Bourne, what are you doing here?
Literally, she feeds him a nice meal before he leaves.
It was part of the program.
I'm picturing Meryl Streep's Julia Child.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay,
you just said Julia Styled.
I meant Julia Child.
I know.
I'm just slurring. Don't mind me.
Anna's incredibly inebriated every time we record. She just hides it really well.
Literally wasted.
So she says that Daniels is in Tangier, and the CIA. A lot of this movie is Jason Bourne goes to do something. The CIA catch up to him after a little bit, and then he has to escape from them.
It is a classic cat and mouse chase.
It
Am I
is. Right? Wow, look at you. Look at that analysis.
Thank you.
That could be in a newspaper article about the movie.
Wow.
A classic
Dan?
cat and mouse chase.
Major compliment from you right now. Major compliment.
As a published journalist, I must say, newspaper worthy.
Thank you so much. I mean, it just is. Like, it's giving Looney Tunes. Like, it's giving that sound effect that's like, like, you know what I'm talking about?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen Aquaman, right?
Of course I have.
My favorite analysis of Aquaman is whenever they don't know how to end a scene, they just have someone burst through a wall and start fighting Aquaman. And that's kind of what happens here.
I mean, yeah. Classic action movie.
When we eventually talk about Aquaman, because I'm sure we will,
Absolutely.
we're going to
we will.
have a burst through the wall counter.
I can't wait. It's giving Kool-Aid Man.
I've only ever watched it on my phone while at work.
Oh, I watched it on the regular TV. I think it was during the height of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, because I didn't know who Amber Heard, like, what she looked like.
So you were gonna? I'm not gonna Google her and find a picture of it. No. I need to watch a film
Yeah, why not?
because it's
Why not enjoy
1952.
myself? Why not have a little fun, Dan? Okay.
So this is what she looks like, watery.
She's very moist.
So an asset is tasked with finding and killing Daniels, the CIA station chief. And then Vosen sends that same agent after Nikki because she has accessed info about Daniels.
Listen, I feel bad for Nikki. All she was doing was trying to make sure people didn't go crazy, and now look at her. She's deep.
She was
deep.
a French foreign exchange student interning for the CIA. Now look at her.
Oh, dang, I don't think I would have taken that internship. I would have been scared.
Would you have turned it if somebody came up to you, if someone from the government came up to you when you were 19 years old and went, "We have an internship for you with the CIA in France." Would you have turned it down?
Okay, maybe. Well, I don't know, because I was kind of like, if I take this internship, does that mean I can't do shows in the summer? Like, I would want to be doing a stupid musical. I can't do theater over the summer. Like,
I can't do Brigadoon. I love Brigadoon.
I can't do The Wedding Singer, because that's the one I actually did when I was 18.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's Jason Bourne, am I right?
So they send the asset to kill Daniels, also after Nikki and Bourne, and Pamela Landy does not like this decision.
Pam, honestly, good for her being the only woman in a room full of boring white men. I'll give her that much.
If this were a Vanity Fair piece about her from the 70s, they would describe her as a whip-smart firecracker of a bombshell.
My body just went into shock. I hated that so much, but they totally would. Disgusting.
She has a steely body.
Ugh.
It spends a lot of time describing her features.
They're like her what is the
Her vivacious hips.
her stone gray eyes.
Alabaster skin.
Literally.
I think we're just describing a China doll at this point.
I think we are, but that's how they treat women. She's stunned in a 3-piece gray power suit.
Not typical for a woman to wear, but she's not a typical woman.
Amen. She's wearing
She
like
has
a
a
suit that was
job.
popular in the 90s. You know, like,
The shoulder
like in
pads
Splash.
that- football player-sized shoulder pads.
Yes, like in Splash when Madison wears one of the suits. Tom Hanks suits. And she's like wearing a men's suit, but it's perfectly tailored to her body. And I'm like, damn, okay.
Hey, have you ever seen Bo Derek and Tom Hanks naked? I can't tell the difference.
That's true. You're right.
We've all had that problem.
It's every day.
Anyway, the assassin kills Daniels with a car bomb. Whoopsies. Jason Bourne can't stop him. But after a fight where Jason Bourne does the thing that they would show in every store's like Blu-ray promotional video. Do you remember those things where you would like walk into Target and they would all the TVs playing like the highlight reel of things that look really good in Blu-ray?
Yes.
And it would always be Bourne jumping from the rooftop through the window. It was every time.
And it was like so crystal clear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like when they first introduced fluid movement, though. Now I'm going off on my TV rant. Don't mind me.
No, it's good. Fluid movement, motion smoothing, all that, terrible. Turn it off. It's bad for you.
Oh shit, I love it. It's like a drug. I'm watching it and it's like getting me high.
It makes everything look like a soap opera.
Well, I don't watch it on my regular TV, but when I would go to the store and they'd show something and the fluid movement would be on, I'd be like, why is this so smooth and why is it making my brain tingle? Is this being high? I've never done drugs, but this feels like it.
You're just drooling in the Best Buy TV section.
Literally.
Will someone please pick up this child?
Somebody please pick up this adult. I'd still be doing it.
She's watching the motion-smoothed automatic gameplay of Guitar Hero 3. Someone needs to get her.
My brain scratched.
Anyway, Bourne kills the assassin. And then to save Nikki, he sends her into hiding. But before he does that, he has her cut and dye her hair. But he isn't going to get involved this time. He's learned from his mistakes.
I mean, I don't see him with Nikki anyway, you know? Like, they're not a pair
compatible
for me.
No.
And it's best that she dyes her own hair because it's going to be too sensual. Like, the hair washing. A literal chill just went down my spine. That scene... Talk about being drunk, Dan. You talk about doing drugs, Dan.
Oh, good Lord, Anna.
I am so sweaty right now.
Can you please go onto whatever music streaming service you use and pull up Taylor Swift's Lover album and go to track 14?
I like that album, but I'm not like that. This is gonna be mean. The albums would be called like Water or something. Lover. I'm scared. 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You have to count.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I hate that you knew that was number 14. It was you need to calm down, everyone. Just for that, I'm going to be even more horny.
Great. Happy for you.
Thank you.
Turn on motion smoothing for that scene and see what happens.
Oh my god, my brain would be feeling so good and scratched.
And then after this, Jason Bourne does what all the movie posters said that he would do. This summer, Jason Bourne is coming home. He goes to New York City.
Good for him. A little Jason Bourne in the Big Apple.
That's the young Sheldon, young Jason Bourne. Can't wait for it. Landy gets a call on the phone. Where else would she get a call on? Why do people say I got a call on the phone? I got a call on the stovepipe?
Maybe like in 2023, you could be getting a call on like your laptop. 1990s could have been on your pager, maybe.
No, you don't get a call on your pager. You get notified that someone is trying to contact you, and then you call them.
Oh, I don't know. I never had a pager. My
dad
dad had a pager, but I never did.
I think my dad had a pager. I don't remember him using it, though. I do remember he got a BlackBerry very early, though.
Ooh, very hip and happening guy.
And he would let us play Brick Breaker on it.
Oh, nice.
He also had a BlackBerry until, like, 2015 or something.
Oh, okay. He's a man of refined tastes.
And then he replaced his phone, and he still has the phone that he replaced it with.
What phone is it?
It's like an iPhone 5.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay, well.
Anyway, Landy tells him his real name is David Webb, gives him his birth date, but it's not his real birth date.
Yes. This part's kind of confused me, Dan.
So Landy is upset with the direction that Vosen is taking, how they're treating Bourne. So she's decided to help him out. And once again, you were breathing. You are going in.
I'm just
on the
listening
microphone.
to you talk. Sorry, I'm listening.
That's normally what people listening to me talk. It's what inspires in them. Heavy breathing.
I'm sorry. I'll pull the microphone away.
Respectfully. So anyway, she meets up with Bourne. She has a plan to meet up with Bourne. And then Vosen leaves with a tactical team.
Because
And Bourne... Whoa.
No, I think I'm jumping ahead. Never mind.
Not yet.
Remember when I said I couldn't tell you any plot points? I actually could tell you a lot.
You could tell a lot of plot points.
I was being dramatic.
Bourne does not meet up with Landy. He goes into the office and takes all the classified documents from the office himself. Why would they leave? Why would they have everybody leave the office? Not going to leave one person? Secretary? Anyone?
Maybe they got, everybody went home early today. Enjoy your weekend, girly. Have fun. It's spring break. Your kids are off of school. Just go home. Just take a day.
Secretary sees everybody else leaving, immediately leaves herself.
Hey, I want to leave too.
Oh, field trip? Great. I'm going to take a field trip home.
I mean, period, girl, honestly.
So, realizing what is going on, Vosen sends another agent after Bourne to kill him. Also, they have a phone call together, and Jason Bourne says, I highly doubt that when he says that I'm in my office. If you were in your office, we'd be having this conversation face to face. Hangs up. End the movie there. Good enough.
I mean, it was a good one.
That's a good one.
It kind of gave me the gasps.
Start fanning yourself.
No, not like that. I was like,
how did somebody come up with a line like that so naturally?
iconic.
I'd be like, no, you're not in your office. If you were in your office, we'd be sitting together. We'd be kissing.
I'd be like, oh, Dan, you just always kiss people when you're nervous.
Come here.
Oh, okay.
I'm being canceled because I'm getting nervous.
Okay, well, just ask first. I'm feeling nervous. Can we kiss?
No. Okay.
Okay.
Have you changed your mind?
No.
My resolve is stronger now. Then there's a long car chase throughout New York City. It's interesting. I kind of zone out.
It's a car chase.
I love the Fast and Furious movies. I'm not really
Yes.
interested in car chases.
Listen, that's because the Fast and Furious movies are camp, okay? They are.
Is your
nothing else,
definition of camp is things that you like, not camp is things that you don't like?
Yes. Anna Wintour missed that memo when she had her camp thing at the Met Gala.
She didn't call you first.
No, she didn't go, Anna, what's your definition of camp? And I didn't go, well, Anna, do I like it? Camp.
So Bourne and the assassin crash their cars. Bourne has the assassin at gunpoint, but he spares his life. He has no qualms with him. His fight is not with him.
Mm-hmm.
Then goes to the hospital where the Blackbriar program is going on.
And things that happen at the hospital that are like a plot, immediately given the ick.
And he confronts the doctor who ran the Treadstone behavior modification program. Remembers he was forced to volunteer for Treadstone. He had to kill a guy in cold blood for no reason, just because he was told to.
What the fuck? Why is the government so wild for this? But there's no clear villain again. What do you think?
I think David Strathairn, the CIA guy,
You think the
is the villain.
CIA is the villain? Okay, I wasn't sure, but I'm glad we had this chat. Continue on.
Bourne starts running away. He runs up to the roof. As he's getting chased, he gets confronted by the assassin, who says, "Why didn't you take the shot?" And then Bourne says, "Look at us. Look at what they made you give." Dying words of the professor from the first movie. Did you realize that?
No, but also my thought was, look at us. Who would have thought? Not me.
Not me. And then the villain of the movie, Vosen, David Strathairn, pops
The
up,
villain of
shoots
the
at
movie,
Bourne, who
America.
jumps. Yeah, the villain of the movie, Joe Biden. Bourne jumps off of like 10 stories into the East River. And one thing I remember from when I was younger, I think I was watching this on FX, and they would do FX at the movies where they would have like commentary from the hosts.
Classic.
And one of the hosts said, I don't think Jason Bourne could have survived that. If you did that in real life, it's like jumping onto concrete. Jumping
Well,
into water
yeah.
from that high. You're not gonna
course.
survive that. But I don't care. It's a movie. Let us have fun.
Yeah, literally. Like, maybe he made his body completely limp. Well, because
Well, you wanna break the water with like a small of part. You want to dive in or like do your toes pointed first.
Yeah, with your little hands. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to just belly flop. Because think about, like, if you jump off of a diving board and you belly flop, how much that freaking hurts. But it doesn't hurt at all if you dive. You could snap his neck could be snapped.
Damn, you snatched that neck.
Literally, his neck deceased.
Snatched.
Boots the house down, mama.
So then days passed. Nikki is watching a news broadcast about the exposure of Blackbriar. Everyone's been arrested. Criminal investigation into the guy who started it. All that jazz. Who David Webb / Jason Bourne is. By the way, Jason Bourne's name is David Webb. Who cares?
Not as cool as Jason Bourne.
No. But then they say a body hasn't been found. Nikki smiles, and Bourne, we see him swimming in the river. And then the song plays, and that is the Bourne Ultimatum.
I guess the Bourne Ultimatum wasn't quite as bad as I remembered it being.
Yeah, come on. You were just in a bad mood. You're too
Just
tired.
now? I'm too tired. I didn't like it the best. It wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen, but I
Oh,
like
of
the
course
first
it
one the
wasn't.
best.
Yeah,
The
I
first
get
one,
that.
There was not enough hair washing in this movie.
There's not enough hair washing in most movies.
Period. Not a single hair was washed.
No, only dirtying.
Literally, everybody's sweaty and gross. They don't need a shower. They don't need to get a little rinsey.
Don't
They
get
don't
a
need to-
little rinsey. Folks, she's breathing. She's alive.
That was me revving
I
up
mean-
the engines.
Yeah, I gave most of my thoughts about this before the movie because there's not really much that you can spoil about this.
No, it's a lot of action. I mean, like, what are you gonna? There's action in the movie. Watch out.
Uh-oh, no. Jason Bourne is coming home? No.
I'm coming home. Coming
Home. Yeah, it's good. I liked it. I thought it was fun. I didn't really care about the whole middle part. It was well directed, well shot and everything. I think that like hand-to-hand combat in the Tangiers chase fight, that's really cool. The jumping off the roof and the like fight in the bathroom is really cool. Very brutal.
Yeah.
For a PG-13 movie, but I think the
There's
story
no swearing or blood.
That's true. Story might be a little lacking compared to the previous ones, but
Yeah,
it's good.
I agree. I agree with you. I think the story isn't not quite, it's nowhere near as strong as the other ones, but for an action movie, it's an action movie. Like, I
It's
guess
a very
if you're
well
having
made
fun.
action movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for if you want to see dudes fight, you could do worse than this.
If you want to see dudes being dudes,
Well, I assume dudes being dudes involves two people enjoying spending time together. Two
I
dudes.
think so too.
None of the dudes enjoy spending time with the other dudes in this movie.
You're right. They all seem incredibly stressed.
Yeah, it's a very not anti-dude, but
Anti-friendship.
anti-relaxing movie. Nobody's gonna want to relax in this world.
Simply couldn't be me. I always want to relax. I want to just vibe, you know?
You are on your couch right now.
Yeah.
You are
Legs
laying
up.
down on your couch right now.
Did I stutter when I said I wanted to vibe?
No, you also didn't stutter when you just went legs up.
Amen. They're on the couch. I'm laying out.
I don't know what that TikTok sound is from, but you saying legs up just reminded me of whatever that gross TikTok sound of is. Ass up, baby girl.
I know what you're talking about, and I hate to admit it, but when I heard you say that, I pictured somebody like talking to their toilet with a sponge. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate myself. I'm glad I'm not on like thirst talk. I'm on make fun of thirst talk.
Yes, me too.
That's where I want to be.
I would have people doing that with like an oven mitt.
Yes.
And then they would smack their oven closed.
Yes, or like a spatula onto a burger.
I don't really have much trivia about this. The trivia is not all that interesting. Basically, they couldn't shut down a bunch of places in the Tangier chase scene. Those aren't extras. The crowd was too busy. They couldn't shut down Waterloo, so those aren't extras either.
Imagine just like doing your life, and all of a sudden they're filming a Hollywood blockbuster.
Right?
That's pretty cool. It's almost as cool as the time I was getting custard, and I was served by Harry Connick Jr.
Why? Why was he there?
I don't know. He was at Leon's. He was doing something for his TV show, and they were like, "Hey, here's your ice cream or your custard." And I was like, "Okay, that's Harry Connick Jr." And they were like, "Yep, sign an NDA and a video release form." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Because I wasn't allowed to talk about it till it came out. So.
Are you sure it's come out yet?
It came out a long time ago.
Okay.
This is like
Sign
10 years ago.
Sign this NDA, which lasts in perpetuity. You can never talk about this with anyone else.
The NDA was because Harry Connick Jr. gave all of us a kiss on the lips when he handed us our custard.
Was he nervous?
Yes.
Would this movie be better, worse, or the same with Jonathan Taylor Thomas as Jason Bourne?
That's Jason Bourne?
Mm-hmm.
No room. I think he could play the journalist, though.
The journalist. Sure, I could see that.
Yeah. I think he could
better. Be nervous. I don't. Okay, interesting.
Nervous? Was he going to kiss people too?
Yeah. Yeah, the journalist was really just looking for a set of lips to start smacking on.
Come on, Jason, your lips look really soft.
Like
that's
like,
I would see that.
Like pillows on your face.
I would literally watch that so hard.
Better was the same with Jimmy Stewart as Vosen, I guess. I think he could do a good job.
I think he could slay.
Yeah, I don't remember any of his quotes from this movie, so I can't do my bad Jimmy Stewart impression. You're in my office.
I don't know why I think Jimmy
every day
Stewart...
it gets closer and closer to Don Knotts.
Oh, I was gonna say, I always think of him sounding like Mrs. Fowl from Jimmy Neutron. I don't know why.
Nikki, I need you to stay put and secure the premises. Backup will be arriving in approximately 1 hour. Do you copy?
I copy, Jimmy.
Jesus Christ! It's Jason Bourne!
Jason Bourne! I love that.
What? Good Lord in heaven! I never used the Lord's name in vain.
Okay,
that's Jason Bourne.
That's Don Knotts.
Andy,
literally,
that's Jason Bourne.
You cannot tell me anything else. I cannot hear anything.
What are you doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Any other black and white actors that you want me to try my mouth at?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
On a scale of 1 to 5, Jesus Christ, what do you give this?
I give it a 2.
Jesus Christ, that's so low.
It's, it was my least favorite. I think that was a fair but just ruling.
You always come at me for saying a 2.5. Whenever I say a 2.5 for a movie that I think is totally average.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, this is a 2.
Yeah, because it wasn't my favorite.
This is worse for you than Now You See Me 2.
Yes, I love Now to See Me.
Now to See Me. This is worse for you than Patch Adams.
Oh, that was a pretty bad movie.
I forgot
movie
that we
was so
watched that.
bad.
It's
I
so
think
bad.
I chose to forget. I probably should mention it in therapy, you know?
It's important.
My therapist would be like, that explains so much.
I can actually put you in group therapy with other people who didn't understand Patch Adams and hated it.
Literally.
Your therapist is a big Patch Adams apologist.
Oh, no. It is Patch Adams.
You haven't noticed this whole time.
Nope.
Why do you have a clown? You've had a clown nose on this whole time?
Yeah, where have you been? You are at the Gesundheit estate or whatever it's called.
That's it. It's called the Gesundheit. You got it.
It's so cringe.
I give it a 4 out of 5. That's what I give the first movie.
It's
I think
not
it's just
as
about
good
equivalent.
as the first movie. The
think it's
first
just
movie,
about-
the hair washing scene is a 5.
The story in the first movie is better.
Yes.
The direction and acting and story, not the story, the direction, acting, cinematography is better in this one.
I guess you and I are just never going to agree on this because nobody's hair got washed, no peace.
Release the bathing cut.
Oh. I'm interested.
Hey, HBO Max. I'm getting nervous and I need lips.
Say less, fam.
Any other notes to add about the Bourne series, or do you want to wrap this up? Because we're not talking about the Bourne legacy or Jason Bourne, because I don't want to.
I think I'm ready to wrap it up, Dan. Bring it home.
Great. That is it for this week's episode of In Conclusion. If you want to find us on social media, we're on Facebook and Twitter @and In Conclusion, on Instagram @In Conclusion Podcast, patreon.com/In Conclusion. I am on Twitter @DanO'Keefe86 and on TikTok @NotDanO'Keefe. Anna, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram @AnonymousPrime818, or you can find me on Twitter at Autobots Rollout, capital O for Auto, capital B for Bots, capital R for Roll, and the O in Roll, and the O in Out are zeros. You can also follow my dog on Instagram @JesterThePup1017. I'm trying to get her brand deals. It's going okay.
You can find me on Twitter.
I needed to swallow really bad. My mouth had a lot of spit in it.
We don't need this. We can.
I wanted to just give everyone the ick really quick.
Next week, we are going to be watching the new movie Ghosted with Ana de Armas and Chris Evans.
It's going to be a thirst fest.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
Bring your water bottles.
Bring your towels. In the meantime,
Sins.
okay. In the meantime, everybody stay safe and have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye. No, I'll let him keep his tongue out because, you know, he's had to watch me hubba hubba a few times.
A Creative Land podcast.